All right, Rob. My preseason pick, as you know, to win it all this year was the Kansas City Chiefs. And while I am not quite as confident as I was in the preseason that they would win the AFC and get to the Super Bowl, I am still feeling very good about this team. Obviously, they had the huge win yesterday, 41-14 over a good Las Vegas Raiders team. And Pat Mahomes did his thing, 406 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks for the second straight game, no picks. And I think, look, I'm not going to declare them all the way back. I'll give you this. One thing that I didn't really love was how after the game, I don't know if you saw it, but almost all of them, Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, they were all talking about having their swagger back. And I mean, Kelce even mimicked like this video of a high school kid that that went viral years ago. But the kid's talking about, I got my swagger back and all that. And Kelce does it as well. But because here's the thing, if you lose to Dallas next week, what happened to the swagger? What are you going to say then? So I didn't love that. But I do think that they are very much alive in the AFC. Part of it is that there is no world beater in the AFC. We've seen Buffalo have a bad loss. We've seen Baltimore have bad losses and bad performances in general, even in wins. We've seen, obviously, the Chargers, who people thought were for real. The Bengals, people thought were for real. The Raiders, people thought were for real. They've shown that they're really not. Tennessee looks like the best team right now in the conference, but they don't have Derrick Henry. So there's no way I'm believing in them like I did 3 weeks ago. And I think the Chiefs are right there and have a great chance to right this ship and do what they've been talking about doing, which is get back to the Super Bowl and winning it. So I got more to say, but do you think I'm bugging?
I mean, I expect you to stick to your guns. I mean, you're not going to just throw the towel in, but I'm not there on the Chiefs. Mahomes was due for a big game. He had one. Give him credit. But it doesn't erase what we've seen most of the year. The struggle against Green Bay, they easily could have lost that game. There were 2 picks that he had against the Giants that were called back in that game. Those are the two of the 3 games. He played well yesterday, and I get it. So if we want to be the prisoner of the moment and look at that, we could say yes. The only thing that bothers me is that some of the company that he keeps, even with and the last 2 weeks he has been clean, so he has eliminated the turnovers, which is good. But I'm not convinced that they're going to the Super Bowl or going to win a Super Bowl, not at this juncture yet when I look at their entire body of work. And we'll see. As much as they're on the top of their division, they're a loss away from falling down to last place or next to last. I mean, it's all bunched up. There's one win difference, and they have a game in hand to most of the other teams in the division. So it's not like they're running away with anything. A loss or two, and they could easily fall backwards the other way. I did see this stat that was interesting to me where quarterbacks passer ratings below 91, the most games this year in 2021. It was a graphic that was thrown up. Patrick Mahomes, 6 games. Listen to the other people around him. Justin Fields, 6 games. Sam Darnold, 6 games. Trevor Lawrence, 6 games. I mean, how could he be in that group? And the other one you mentioned was Lamar, who won some games but has had some not great games. But those are the guys all around who have had passer ratings below. So he hasn't had what most people expected. It's been a turbulent year for Patrick. It's not saying he's a bum or he can't play or he can't get better, but there was a start there, and they still got a tough road to go. But I'm not sold on them anymore. Nothing changed after last night for me. I'd have to see more as we go forward, see where that defense really is,
They looked good yesterday.
Yeah, was it the Raiders? I mean, they look good one week. Sometimes they look bad. They lost to the Giants. So I don't know how good the Raiders really are. I don't. When they lost to the Giants,
they lost,
it was pretty
obviously,
bad.
tragic situation with Henry Ruggs. So that was their best receiver on the outside. But I think, Rob, that the move, the rush, and I won't say to bury Pat Mahomes because nobody was burying him.
I don't think anybody buried him.
But the move to kind of take him off his pedestal was premature. There were even those saying that given the choice, they'd start their team with Justin Herbert over Patrick Mahomes. And what I've said is this, Rob. Patrick Mahomes, he set the bar so high, and this is why, remember, I said he was Jordan-esque. I've said he has GOAT potential, and I still believe those things. He has set, this is evidence of that the bar for him was so high that he had a couple of bad games, a few bad games, I'll give you that. And people were like shocked. Andy Reid said it after the game. He said, they got their guys that do all the analytics and numbers crunching. And he said Patrick Mahomes has gone longer than any other quarterback in history without a slump. He never had a slump until this season. But even as a slump, get this, he leads the league in yards. He's fourth in yards per game. He's second in touchdowns. As you said, he has one game up on several other quarterbacks. But at the very least, he'll be third in touchdowns tonight. He's got one game up on Matt Stafford and two more touchdowns. So if Stafford throws 3 tonight, Mahomes will be third in the league in touchdowns. He's on pace to throw 43 touchdowns, which is more than he has.
How many
in
picks
each of the
is he
past,
on pace for?
Hold on, in each of the past 2 seasons.
But what's the pace for interceptions? If you
I don't know. Probably he's got 10 in 17 games, so it's probably like 17. Yeah, he's got 10 interceptions in 10 games. You don't have to be a mathematician. He's on pace for 43 touchdowns and 17 picks. I could live with that. I don't think he'll throw 17. But I could live with that. That's not a bad touchdown to interception ratio. For him, it's shocking. Heck, Joe Burrow. People love Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's got 20 touchdowns and 11 picks.
Yeah, but you
can't
put Joe.
And nobody's tearing him apart.
Nah, but the difference
But people have put Burrow in.
Burrow, you can't.
But Burrow, Herbert, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, they've all had piss poor games, and nobody's like ready to take them off their pedestal. But Pat Mahomes has a few, and they're, oh my gosh, he's not what he used to be. And what is going on? And yet again, he's on pace to throw more touchdowns than he has in each of the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think that the criticism of him was fair. It's not about what he's established for himself. He just played poorly. I don't care if
How can he play poorly when he's on pace for 43 touchdowns?
Because during those games when he played, Chris, and he was having 2 picks every game,
he was playing
his poorly.
Standards.
No,
I don't think it was that. He's had 3 games with 2 picks.
He was playing poorly for anybody in the NFL. He was turning the ball over. He was fumbling. I'm talking about for any quarterback when they were losing.
How?
He was playing poorly. You can't say
Lamar
that.
Lamar Jackson's got 14 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
I'm asking you. You can't look at that and say he was playing poorly.
He had some bad games, but he also had some really good games and some so-so games.
But he was
for
playing
his
poorly.
standards. For his standards, he was not playing up to his standards. But that's my point. His standard is so high.
I disagree with that take. I
disagree
with that take. I just think he just played poorly.
Before yesterday, Rob, he had 2 games, or 1 game with 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. He had 3 games where he threw 3 touchdowns. One of those games, no picks. One of those games, 1 pick. So he had some bad games for him. But to say he was playing poorly by any quarterback standards, that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
What quarterback wouldn't take 43 touchdowns in a season?
Because we're not talking about Chris. You're
just said for any quarterback.
No, I'm talking about during the time when he was playing, not projecting out his stats. No, you're projecting out stats and making it like, 43 touchdowns is good. During that stretch, when he was playing
he
poorly,
was still on top of the league in touchdowns during that stretch.
No, it wasn't just for him. He was playing poorly. I don't know why it's so hard to say he was playing poorly. Aaron Rodgers started the season, right? He played poorly in game 1. We could say it had nothing to do with standards. He had 2 picks and no interceptions. It has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers' standards. That's a bad game. I don't care who it is.
But my
no
point
touchdowns
is,
and 2 picks is would you admit that? Is that a bad game?
Oh, I never said he didn't have some bad games.
All right,
but
played
I'm saying
poorly.
For you to say he was playing, you said he was playing poorly for any quarterback. That's ridiculous. He was leading the league in touchdowns.
No.
How is that poorly?
No, during that
and it wasn't like a Jameis Winston 30s and 30
touchdowns in 6 games or whatever. He had like 4 fumbles. That's poor play. That has nothing to do with Patrick
He's got
Mahomes'
2 more
number.
Interceptions than Lamar Jackson.
Chris, he had 5
and he's got
last
11
year. He has
more
10
touchdowns.
already. You're going to tell me that there's not a difference?
What?
He had 5 all of last year, all 16.
Oh, no. Yeah,
and now he has 10, and you're saying he's playing the same. How?
No, I never said he was playing this. In fact, I said the opposite. I said by his standards,
so he didn't play poorly?
He's playing below his standards.
So
he had some poor games.
So he didn't play poorly, but he had poor games.
Season, for him it was poor. For some quarterbacks, it was splendid. Seriously.
No, for nobody it was splendid.
Really?
I disagree with that.
You're way off. You're way off.
Here we go.
Ryan Tannehill wouldn't take Patrick Mahomes' season.
For 4 weeks.
Baker Mayfield wouldn't take Patrick Mahomes' season.
Can I give you the numbers?
You're crazy.
For 4 weeks before last night, his QBR was 33.6. That's the 29th best in the league. The Chiefs' yards per play
for 4
was
weeks,
one of the worst in the league.
We're week
5.0. And in that stretch, he had 6 interceptions and 5 fumbles, 2 lost. That was in a 4-game stretch. That's playing poorly.
He had a poor stretch, but he also had a good stretch. In his first 4 games, he had 15 touchdowns or 14 touchdowns. So he had a good stretch there and a bad stretch. But you're saying this whole season, no quarterback in the league would take. I can name off the top. You did.
That's not what
you said he was having a poor season for any quarterback.
I said during that stretch, it wasn't about his standard that he set. He was playing poorly. 29th.
Are people ripping Joe Burrow?
29th.
Are people ripping Justin Herbert?
Those guys haven't won anything. They're not MVPs. Come on, Chris.
Are people ripping Lamar Jackson?
In the same conversation.
Lamar Jackson's had some bad ones too. I mean, seriously. This dude, even in the midst of all those games, and I never said he didn't have some bad games. He did. But I'm saying the standard he set was so high that had a lot. Oh, it did. And there's no other quarterback that has 25 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and people are wondering what in the world is wrong with him.
I gave you because he was the 29th ranked quarterback in QBR.
You gave me a 4-week stretch.
Previous 4 weeks, Chris.
That's fine. He had a poor stretch. But what about the weeks before that? Did you give me that one? No.
My point is...
Because you're fudging the numbers.
I'm not. Those numbers are real. You're the one who's trying to massage it.
You're full of fudge.
Pat Mahomes is poor standard for anybody
else.
For him. Nobody else would 6 touchdowns and 5
you said
fumbles.
You had the audacity to say no quarterback. Like, for any quarterback in the league, he was playing poorly.
During your time away,
there's about 5 that wouldn't take that.
Patrick Mahomes
There's about 5 that wouldn't take that.
Not give in.
Stop it. And here's the deal for all those watching.
Still wrong.
Yesterday, Patrick Mahomes had a great combination of the patience and playing smarter and more patient, which is something he had been working on for the past 3-4 weeks. And you can see the struggle because that's not his nature. But yesterday, he put it together. He took what the defense gave him. He threw it underneath and found out, you know what? This opens up the deep ball. This opens up the chunk play. And so yesterday he was safe and patient, but also they got chunk plays.
The Raiders
and that's what
two
you want from
interceptions
him
yesterday as well.
That's what you fine. It happens to every quarterback.
All right, but I'm
and
just saying,
that's
don't
what
make it
you
like
want.
he
had
wasn't.
5
They
touchdowns, Rob.
They dropped 2
Stop
interceptions.
It. He had
They
5 touchdowns and a 127 passer rating. Don't make it like he wasn't great. He threw for 400 yards.
No, they dropped 2 interceptions.
Stop it. Stop. Fine. They dropped. That doesn't show up in the box score. I tell you that. They blew out the freaking Raiders 41-14. And that offense, that approach, which is what they should take, helps the defense. Keeps the defense off the field. They had 11 play, 13 play, 10, 9, 8, 7 play drives. That's what you want, and that's why I feel pretty good about where they're at.